My name is Carlos Martin, founder of Play on Worlds.
So Carlos, you're showing Ebenezer and the Invisible World. How did this game come into being?
So, that's a great question. So, first of all, we're fans of A Christmas Carol. One of the concepts we really thought about was Jacob Marley. Jacob Marley is a character within the story. Jacob Marley is unique because he's the one ghost that appears that's tethered, chained to the mortal world, right? So, the idea that we thought is, what if there were other ghosts within Victorian London that were also chained to the mortal world? So we want to explore that concept. So in the game, the idea is that Victorian London is filled with various different ghosts, right? And it's established in the book that Jacob Marley and Ebenezer can speak to each other. One's a mortal, one's a ghost. So the idea is that Ebenezer can speak to different ghosts. So typically that's not, true in our world, right? So they ask these ghosts that are in Victorian London, they want to help people. The reason why they want to help people is they didn't help people. That's why they're kind of tethered.
They're being punished.
Kind of, yeah, in their mortal life, right? So now they want to help, right? So kind of the irony is that they weren't helpful to people in life, but now in the afterlife, when they want to be helpful, they can't be helpful. So they go to Ebenezer and they say, hey, can you help this person on our behalf? And if you do that, we'll join you. So there's going to be NPCs in the game. So there's just as many NPCs as there is ghosts, because you're always helping an NPC on the behalf of ghosts in order to acquire ghosts. So there's a mission that you complete in order to get the ghost, and there's an NPC that you kind of talk to and communicate with. So we have the dialogues with the ghosts, we have the NPCs, and all of them have backstories.
So then this is how it leads into the Metroid gameplay. When you get a ghost, it's a new ability that you can utilize.
Exactly. So you could then summon them. So depending on the controller, whether it's a Y or a triangle button, you could press a button and you call the ghosts. And there's various different ghosts that you acquire through the game. You could cycle through them with the D-pad, and then you could use them through the game. And each of them has obviously a unique ability. They're all a little bit different, right?
So talk about your art design in the game. How did you decide on this nice 2D, like classic Metroid Castlevania art style?
Before I answer the art question, let me just say in general, we wanted to make a game that was timeless. We wanted to make a game that stood the test of time, that was high quality, that can really join, because there's great Metroidvania games out there, and we wanted to be part of that kind of community of great Metroidvania games. So we knew we needed a game that was high quality, that really explored all the features of a Metroidvania in the right way, right? And so that brings us to art. So we wanted to make sure the art was also timeless. So we didn't want the game to feel dated in a few years. I mean, when you play Cuphead, when you play Hollow Knight, those games are a few years old, but they haven't aged a bit. They still feel as fresh as ever. And I think a lot of that has to do with the art design, the way that so we thought about 2D art, hand-drawn art specifically for that reason. We feel like it's timeless. Today, right now, there are people watching Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast is more recent, right? Snow White. These are movies that are 80 years old. I mean, they're and people could still enjoy them today, and we think a lot of that has to do with the hand-drawn art style, right? So we think hand-drawn art is timeless, and not only that, there's an authorship to hand-drawn art. What I mean by that, you can see the brushstrokes of art, in a way of the artist, in a way that's, I don't think it's as easy to see it. It's not that it's not there, but it's not as easy to see it in like a 3D game. So we really wanted to show that, because ultimately these games, they're a commercial enterprise, but it's a craft. Like you're building a work of art. Like there's an artistry to it that isn't it doesn't feel as commodified as like huge games. Like you could feel the designer in the level you're playing, in the way that the character moves, and we wanted that to come across in this game, not only in the gameplay but the art.
The eye animation for Ebenezer looked gorgeous.
Oh yeah, he takes off his hat and everything.
His cloak is blowing in the wind, is that kind of detail that you're talking about?
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in that. We have a really great animator that did a great job.
So talk about what are some of the challenges for making a Metroidvania style game in 2023?
Say a lot. It's a very, very difficult genre. You have to get the feel right. You have to get the balancing right. We have a lot of complex mechanics in the game. We have heirlooms in the game with a slot system. You have to really balance all that stuff out. The difficulty of how much attack you need to defeat an enemy early in the game. How do you deal with progression? How do you make it so that those enemies are easier later in the game because you've acquired new abilities without making them too difficult? Level design is a key thing. How do you design a level that feels like a Metroidvania? You want a vast world that you can explore, right? How do you make that feel where the player feels like they can go to a lot of different places, but not handhold the player, right? So there's so much of it that has to. There's so many details that they have to watch out. It definitely gives you an appreciation for what these other games have done and how how the attention to detail that it's really eye-opening when you're going through the process yourself, right?
Why have we not seen more Charles Dickens types games in our world today?
I don't know. It's just as Charles Dickens intended. It's a Metroidvania.
Christmas Carol is a work by Charles Dickens. Was that public domain? How did you end up being able to use Ebenezer and that kind of stuff?
It's public domain. It's been, A Christmas Carol has been in publication consecutively nonstop for 180 years. This year's the 180th year it's been out there. It's been, it's been translated into 50 plus languages, truly global. It's really a worldwide kind of, story. It's really known throughout the world. And it's also, people are familiar with it. So many people know the story really well, have never read the book. They've seen the movies, they've seen the TV show, they've seen episodic stuff, they've seen live action, they've seen,
For me, it was the Muppets.
Yeah, there you go. For other people, it's Bill Murray. For other people,
Scrooge. Yeah.
So it really depends. For some people, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they have the episode of A Christmas Carol. It's
timeless, is what you're saying. The story is it's timeless.
Totally timeless, and it's accessible. The game is coming out November 3rd. Time for Christmas, yeah. So November 3rd, 2023. It's going to be on all console platforms and PC. So it's going to be on Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Steam. So wish list today.
And where can they go to find more information about Ebenezer and the Invisible World? Discord, website, Steam page?
All of the above. We got a Discord. Going. We've got a website. So EbenezerInvisibleWorld.com. We've got socials. We're on social media channels: Facebook, Instagram. What else?
Just Google Ebenezer and the Invisible World.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.